Hi, this is Paul Lancaster from the Sage One team, and today I'm joined in this Google Plus Hangout with Lorna Syson, a British
Hello.
designer. Hello, hi Lorna.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me today. Really appreciate it. I'd just like to start for anyone that isn't familiar with you and your work, just to introduce yourself, who you are, and what it is that you do.
Yeah. Well, my name's Lorna Syson. My business is Lorna Syson as well. Create interiors like kitchens, lampshades, wallpapers, all inspired by the British countryside. So you'll see some behind me here. Even sort of the geometric designs are inspired by like hedgerows and that sort of thing. So it's a really British brand. Um, Everything's made in the UK. It's produced in the UK. It's inspired by the UK, and most of our customers are UK based as well. And I think that helps by the fact that each design has a little swing ticket that comes along with it. So when customers see my stuff in a shop or see it on the website, um, they can read the story about why that design has happened. So you connect with the piece emotionally and aesthetically.
Brilliant. I didn't realise that. I mean, I've seen your designs obviously on your website, which I must say looks amazing. And
Thank
I
you.
know I know lots of people in the Sage office who've seen your website. As soon as they see it, they're like, "Wow, that like I love those designs." So congratulations on your design, and it is a very distinctive look to your designs
Thanks.
as well, which I think is really
Yeah.
impressive that you've done that. Um, so where are you selling your designs at the moment? Is it mostly online through your website,
Um,
or do you?
it depends on the time of year, actually. Um, I've got about 40 shops now in the UK, and I've got some in Europe as well, mainly France, Germany, and a couple in Spain. So that works really well for me to sort of get my stuff out to people. They can sort of see it in a shop setting rather than they can actually physically touch it. Also work with interior designers, so I do bespoke things for them, different size lampshades for projects. And then I've got my stuff online, which through my website and other people's websites, just a way for people to sort of see it. If there's not a shop close by to them, they can see it online. It
Mhm.
works really well for us.
Great. Okay. I mean, when I see your designs, I mean, when I to me it looks, I can totally imagine it in a department store like John Lewis.
Yeah.
Is that the sort of thing that you're aiming towards? Something like a an Orla Keeley brand
Well,
or a Cath
it's
Kidston or something like that?
it's funny you say John Lewis because for me that is where my stuff completely fits. It is the department store that has the same target market I do. That my work connects really well with the other sort of brands and products they have in the store, and that is where I see it going. It's what I've been working for 4 years on the business now, working sorry, working in wholesale,
It's live.
working in wholesale since we started. So I know how all that works, and everything has been building towards these sort of bigger accounts, bigger orders, and everything's set up to go that way. So
Okay.
that's where I see the future going.
Great. So if anyone from John Lewis is watching this right now, check out lornasyson.co.uk. I mean, is it a realistic possibility? Is it something that you've trying to get in with those guys, or have you had
um,
any?
yeah, it is. It's where I want to be. So that is sort of trying to make the right connections, really, with the right places.
Okay,
But they, above anyone else, is definitely there.
great. Okay, because I'm obviously following you on Twitter, and I like your Facebook page, so I get to see all your status updates, and I know that you go to a lot of events, don't you? You go to a lot of trade shows and design
Yeah,
events and buyers events. Is
yeah.
is that a key thing for you to try and get people to buy your products at those events?
Yeah, so I do quite a few trade shows. I'm doing about two a year at the moment, so
Right.
January and September.
Okay.
And that's the best place for me to meet. potential shops and potential stockists, as well as interior designers. It's just a really good showcase of my work. I can display a stand how I want to, and it's at these events. People are there for buying. They are there. They ask quite direct questions. They sort of ask about wholesale price, delivery times, lead times, all that sort of stuff. And it's a really great way to just have those conversations that take probably like 10, 15 minutes, but get that information across in a way that an email or phone calls, often you can get pushed to the back of the queue. So yeah, I do that, but what I'm doing at the moment is doing more public events. So I'm doing an event in 3 weeks in southwest London called the Decafest, and that's basically a place where it's for the end user, so it's for people like me and you who want to go and decorate their house, and it's got loads of designers there, and I've got a stand there, so I'm hoping to meet people who live in that local area and show them my stuff, because people do get a bit nervous about buying online, especially when something's at a higher price point, and it can be quite difficult with the returns and all that sort of stuff. So at the moment, I'm thinking the more I can get myself in front of the right people, and sort of in their circle and in front of, like, in their everyday life wherever they go, the more chance I've got of them picking it up, of them like physically feeling it, feeling the quality, because that's one thing that really sells my work. I wouldn't say it was a cheap product, but it's because the quality is not cheap either. And when people physically touch it and physically feel it, they make that connection and they see its value for money.
Well, even things like you were saying, the labels, the little sort of stories behind the designs as well. I wouldn't have necessarily got that from your website, but the design obviously looks amazing on your website. And
Thank you.
Just because I know who you are and your background, I know that it is a quality product and everything. But definitely, I can imagine when people actually see it in the flesh, and that's when they'll want to buy it.
Exactly.
So, great. That's excellent. So that's interesting. So with the trade shows and the buyers events, are they seasonal? Do you tend to do a lot of them at the beginning of the year to get into the shops later on? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I start for Christmas. My Christmas starts sort of August, September, with things physically leaving the studio and ending up at people's shops. And it depends on the size of the shop and how they work and if it's a reorder and all that sort of stuff. But it goes all the way up basically till the end of November. But from the beginning of November, it's web sales for Christmas start. So that sort of time is really, really busy for me. And then obviously Christmas happens, and January I start sort of sending things out for spring to people who want sort of the birds for the spring, which is I'm finding quite popular this time of year. That's when all that goes out, and I sort of have a downtime. Maybe June, July, August are sort of the quieter months for me. People aren't really buying for their home, and shops aren't really buying because they're waiting for Christmas to happen. So that's when I actually get to relax a bit.
Have a little bit of a holiday. Am I right? Am I right in saying are you getting married? Are you planning a wedding at the moment? Is that right?
I am planning a wedding at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything else.
So is that this year or is it next year?
Yeah, it's 2 months' time.
Oh wow! Oh, yeah. Congratulations! Congratulations!
Thanks. But being the sort of person I am, I'm obviously having a massive DIY wedding. I couldn't imagine not doing it myself. So I was here last night making bunting out of all the offcuts of my lampshade fabric. So it will be a massively Lorna Syson wedding.
You'll have to do a photo shoot. You'll have to get OK or Hello magazine or one of the glossies down to do a feature.
Yeah, I can't imagine they'll be doing it, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe we could pull a few strings and try and get some journalist interest to come down.
Yeah.
Cool. So so just you said you've been running your business for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Am I right? You didn't actually want to start a business in the beginning, did you? That wasn't your
Yeah.
plan.
Wasn't the plan at all. I did internships all through university. I took a year out to do it. I did some when I graduated as well. All to get as much experience as possible. And in the end, I think I did like 18 months worth of experience over that time. And I thought, right, let's go out and get a job. And it was
So
just,
sorry, was that unpaid as well? Was it unpaid
yeah,
intern?
yeah, it was all unpaid. I
Right. Wow.
think I get expenses in some of them, but not all of them. Um, and I was like, yeah, let's go and get a job. Let's go and sort of use this experience. Obviously, I knew I had a lot to learn. Every graduate does. But I just couldn't. All I was getting offered were more unpaid internships, and I thought I can't do that anymore. So I sold some of my work at New Designers when I graduated to a window display designer, and I thought, well, I've got all this work that I've spent years doing. Why don't I just keep showing it and see what happens? And I ended up going to a show in Cornwall called the Cornwall Design Fair, which was part of Hidden Art when that was around. And I think, I don't know if it was fate or luck, but I was put opposite a designer called Poppy Triffy, who's based in Cornwall. And she was doing really well. And I just went up to her and said, look, I've just graduated. I'm trying to get a job. I can't get a job. I'm thinking about showing some of my own work. Do you have any advice? And at that point, she'd been going for 5 years. And she said she started out with the Prince's Trust. And she got a mentor with that. She got sort of help with financing at the beginning of it. So I got home, contacted the Prince's Trust, and got a development loan. So I paid that back over 3 years. And I got a mentor who is now a really good friend of mine. He's coming to the wedding. And I haven't really looked back. I've just been really lucky that as things have developed, my business has changed a lot since I started. And as all that has happened, customers kept coming. I've got some really good regular customers who every month or every couple of months need to restock in their shop because it's just working so well for them. And that, it just feels great, really. It's sort of a sense of satisfaction I don't think you could get if you didn't put all the legwork in right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's easier because you didn't start working for someone else? Obviously, with hindsight, you did 18 months unpaid, and that's not easy. But do you think that was easier that you did it that way? And would you recommend that route for other people as well? Do you think?
Yeah, I think when you actually go into work environment, it opens your eyes up to how work actually is. I know that being a designer has been glamorized quite a lot. People think you look at mood boards all day and you get to sort of draw, and some people, I do think it's the case, but when you run your own business, I actually spend a lot of time on the other parts of the business, such as marketing and the finances, and sort of social media, all that sort of stuff, and the production as well. I'm on the phone forever to sort of people who make things, doing colour matching, making sure that things come in properly, stock takes. And I think that's something you don't get unless you work in a small business and see that those things don't magically happen. Someone needs to physically do it. So I feel like I went into it with my eyes open because I'd seen, okay, I want to be a designer, but yeah, you've got to do all these other things. So I would definitely recommend internships and all that sort of stuff, especially whilst at university. You definitely graduate with a more of a bigger outlook on life, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you were at university, was there much support for starting your own business? Was that something that many of your fellow students were wanting to do, or was it?
I'm not sure how many people wanted to do it when we left, but I think I don't know if you've heard of Zoe Murphy. She does amazing printed furniture.
No.
She was in the same university course as me, and we've ended up going along the same sort of lines, but with different products. And there's another friend called Sarah Jane Guest who does SJ Guest stuff. She's gone along those lines as well. And I don't think any of us really started out to do it as that's what we're going to do, but we all had such a strong drive for wanting to do something when we left. I personally didn't want to go and work in a pub. I wanted to sort of physically get on with my career. I didn't want to wait for someone to offer me a job to move forward. And I thought, well, I'll just move it forward myself. But I'd say it was the Prince's Trust that gave me the biggest pointers in life for how to move on.
Well, they're a great organisation and been going for a very long time, and a lot of people speak very highly of them. But the mentoring aspect of it is a key thing, I think, as well. A lot of people, it's almost become a bit of a buzzword as well. Mentoring, you need a mentor. Mentoring's great, but I'm not sure if everyone fully understands what a mentor is or what the relationship is between a mentor and a mentee and what's expected of each. So do you just want to talk a little bit about how that worked for you?
Well, what I thought was amazing with my mentor is he's not in the creative industry whatsoever. He's a lot more based on sales, and I think I can't even remember how many businesses he's running at the moment, but he is a complete multitasker. And I think I was really lucky that his wife is also really friendly, and she's worked in the creative industry, so she was able to give that sort of that flip on it that he maybe didn't know from his own experience. But for me, why my mentor was so amazing was we would meet up once a month. I would talk to him, I'd tell him how the business went, I could be completely honest with him. He was not judgmental anyway, he just always wanted the best for me. And he just kept asking me questions, so I would ask him a question, I'm feeling a bit lost, I don't know what I'm doing, how can I get out of this? And he never gave me the answer, he just kept asking me questions, so I came up with the answer myself. So he never told me what to do, he never gave me his opinion. He just said, okay, we'll look at it at this point of view. What would you do if this was the case? If this happened, how would you feel? And it's that flip of realising you actually know all the answers yourself, you just don't know you know them. That's what he was able to bring out. And one thing he said to me right at the very beginning was, like, what you do, if you don't make any money from it, it's a hobby, not a business. And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. I want a business. I don't want a hobby. I don't want to do something on the side. I want this to be my career and to support me for the rest of my life. Well, at the moment, that's what I'm thinking. And that's what he was capable of making me have more confidence in myself, and for putting myself out there. And when things did go wrong, which obviously they do at the beginning, and you make decisions that aren't right, it wasn't, well, that was wrong. It was, okay, that happened. What would you do now? How do you move on from that? If you end up in that situation again, what did you learn from it? And so because of him, I've now signed up to a similar sort of scheme with University Arts London. So I'm now mentoring 2 girls who have just graduated who want to go into the arts career. So I do the same with them. I meet them once a month. And I must admit, being on the other side of it made me realise how good my mentor was. Because it is so hard to hear what someone's saying and talking about things and not giving your own opinion based on your own experiences. Because it's not about you, it's about them. And I think that is why mentoring is so good.
Yeah. He does. He sounds amazing, and I've heard a lot of people talk about that, about the best type of mentor and how they should be, where they don't give you the answer, and a lot of the time you have the answer yourself. You just need to talk it through to get there. But I've actually done a bit of speed mentoring for like accelerator programs and incubators and stuff like that, but that's very intense. It's like, you know, maybe you only have half an hour if you're
Wow.
lucky with them, and that's total opposite to what you're talking about there, because you can tell the people that you're talking to, they want you to give them the answer, and
Yeah.
because there's that time pressure, you feel like, you know, well,
Yeah.
I'll impart some knowledge here, but that's not. It doesn't sound like that is the best type of mentoring, or the more the most valuable type of mentoring. The type you got sounds a lot better, and it's obviously worked for you. And if he's coming to
Yeah.
your wedding as well, then you must have. Did you have a choice over your mentor? How did you get put together with
No.
him? No, they just put you together.
Yeah. So in the first meeting, basically, Pete said, "This is where we find out if we want to sort of work together." And
Right.
so we had that first meeting, and then at the end of it, he said, "So if you decide you don't want me as your mentor, let the Prince's Trust know, and they'll match you with someone else."
Okay.
And at that point, I think I was just so in awe that I had a mentor who had successful businesses. I was just like, "Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, it's really good." And
Yeah.
I'm actually so glad. I've been kicking myself as I changed.
Brilliant. So to anyone watching this, to get in touch with the Princess Trust. It's
Yeah.
they can't help everyone though, can they? Is that right?
No, I know it's changed since I was there, but you have to be between the ages of 18 and 30, and it was be unemployed. I wasn't registered as unemployed or anything like that because I'd just come out of university, but so that counted because I didn't have a job at that point. But I know that things have changed slightly since I did it, and I know at the time I was given a mentor and the loan at the same time. But now I think you get the mentor and then you apply for a loan later on, which I actually think is a better way of doing it.
Right.
I think I would have made wiser decisions if I was given the money later on rather than right at the beginning.
Yeah, I think from when I used to work at Shell Livewire, I used to get quite a lot of people coming to the Shell Livewire website or discussion forum after being to the Princess Trust, or vice versa. You know, we would refer people there quite often, quite informally, and sometimes you would get people who'd been sent to the Princess Trust and then they'd been disappointed because they couldn't help them because they weren't unemployed, or they weren't. I think they used to call it unemployed, out of education, or disadvantaged in some other way. But obviously the age criteria as well. So but so they can't help everyone, but they are a great organisation, well worth looking into, aren't they? And if you do qualify, then definitely get in touch. Who else have you found helpful with your business apart from your mentor and Princess Trust? Is there any of your peers around you that have supported you?
Yeah, I've got a studio here at Cockpit Arts, and that's based in London. And basically, it's got two sites. So I'm at the Deptford one in South East London, and we've got, I think, 60 people like me in this building, and it runs from businesses that are just starting as they move in, so they could be a couple of months old, to businesses here that have been going for over 20 years. And since I've moved, I just can't believe how much I've learned from just generally talking to people. I had a wallpaper issue a couple of months ago, and I just felt, in this job you have a roller coaster like this, and I was at the bottom of one of the roller coasters and was downstairs and met one of the ladies who'd been in business for 20 years, and she was like, "Are you alright?" I was like, "Well, not really." Told her, and straight away, just in that little chat, she was like, "Oh, that happened to us. This is what we did." Or she was then saying, "Have you thought about working with this person?" And just that experience and knowledge that can be passed over in such an informal setting is great. And the studio I had before I came here was mainly fine artists who weren't working for design as a business. It was more sort of painting and had more of the different way of working, I think, fine artists and designers. And I didn't realise how much I needed that interaction with people who were on the same wavelength as me until I came here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good, and it's great. Sorry.
Great. No, sorry, you can. Yeah, I think that's really interesting one, because a lot of people maybe think they'll start a business at home or they work from home, especially if you're a sole trader, just working by yourself. But being in amongst other people of a similar mindset to yourself, and kind of bouncing off their ideas, and just feeling like, oh well, there's other people actually doing it and running a business in the type of sector that I want to do, must be inspiring, being in that environment.
Definitely.
So do you have like communal spaces? Is that how you meet people, or do you have like networking events, or is it just?
So Cockpits has events that happen all the time. We've got open studios that happen twice a year, and that's one great way where everyone opens their studios, they display everything, and you can actually see what people's work's like. Sometimes you'll meet people in the corridor, have a chat. You know that they might make lampshades or they might be a ceramicist, but you don't actually know what their work's like. So it's as good for us as it is the public, those open studios. But yeah, we have events. We have a summer barbecue. We have a Christmas party. We have peer sharing events. We have a coffee lotto, where once a month you get sent another maker and their phone number, and you sort of have a chat for half an hour, so everyone gets to know each other better in the building. Cool.
That's nice. That's
yeah.
Nice.
And it means sometimes at lunch, if you just need to get out of your studio, you can just pop to someone else's studio, have lunch with them like you would at a sort of, I think, a larger office. But then you go back and work on your own business in the afternoon. And that's, Great. I can't see me leaving for a while.
Excellent. So, am I right? Is it still just you in the business? Are you still a sole trader, or do you have employees?
I'm a sole trader, but now I've got 2 members of staff. So I've got Tiz, who is doing sort of marketing, website stuff, and brochures and photo shoots. And then recently, through a Crafts Council scheme of basically getting people more into employment in the art sector, I've just taken on Gemma, who is doing sort of lots of sales, phone calling, that sort of thing. So at the moment, just behind the screen, I've got 2 of them smiling at me. But they're both on a part-time basis, so there's still days where it's just me in the studio.
Okay.
But yeah, great. It's great having a little team.
Yeah. Hello to, did you say Tiz and Gemma? Is that right? Is it Tiz, Gemma? Hello. And the dog as well. What's the dog called again?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. You're doing a great job with it. You're doing a great job with the website
Jenkins.
and the marketing.
Yeah.
Jenkins as well. I've seen Jenkins in a couple of photos as well. So, hello Jenkins.
Yeah. No, he's
cool.
Good.
So what's next for Lorna Syson? What? So what's next for Lorna Syson then? What can we look forward to seeing?
Well, next year we're going to bring out a new collection. So that'll sort of be, not now, we're sort of sticking with what we've got now, and working on building more stockists, and working with sort of interior designers and that sort of thing. Next year's a new collection coming out, which is great. And one thing we're doing at the moment, which is really exciting, is working with a new wallpaper factory who, they're amazing. I went to visit them. They're based in Loughborough, and they've got all the original William Morris wooden blocks in the factory, and they got them. They said someone was throwing them out in the skip like 20 or 30 years ago, and they rescued them. And so they do all the amazing printing for stately homes and stuff that need like wallpaper redone or something like that. Sorry, that's meant to be on silent. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I'm working with them, and I'm getting the wallpaper done more sort of on rollers. So there'll be big quantities to them for this collection and the next collection. So that's something I'm really enjoying at the moment.
Excellent. Okay. And if anyone wants to find out more about you and or maybe to order some products online, where should they go for
Yeah,
that?
go to the website, which is www.lornasyson, which is really difficult. It's LORNASYSON.co.uk.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, Lorna, and
Brilliant.
good luck with your business, and I look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing how well you do over the coming years as well. Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.